Okay, welcome everyone. Today's date is the 21st of September 2024. And um ah, I'm hoping that the energy doesn't get very much more or any more intensive than it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been off the roof and I'm finding it difficult. So goodness knows how other people are finding it. I watched a video the other day um of a lady that was very upset on Facebook, and she was recording herself and she was just talking and then she started to cry, and it was quite heart-wrenching to watch it, um because that's where the majority of people, a lot of people are in that space of being just at their wits' end and really upset. But we do need to raise our frequency, our energy, and our vibration, and come out of the space we're in. And so many of us have been upgraded recently. I know that I've been through, I seem to be going through, or have been through, since I started to channel, a process of being a bit of a sitting duck and a target continuously. And I was saying before that I do need to look at ways of protecting myself better and finding new techniques so that I'm not such a target. And I have some extremely supportive people around me, which I'm very grateful for. And one of them includes Michael Lewis. The other one is DM. You guys know who he is. So, and Alan, you were asking me yesterday about the ascension process, and I think that's a long period for the full outcome. But I think that we are in a giant leap forward. And there's just so much I could talk about. But I would like to do a channeling. I didn't think I was going to, but they always have so much to say. So I think I'm just going to go into the channeling. Is there anything you guys want to share before I go into it?
I'll just say, let's get their thoughts on how they perceive the next few years sooner rather than later because of the energies. You're totally right. I was speaking to somebody today who was actually giving out about the energies and saying whatever is going on, it's affecting a lot of people in a lot of ways. So it'd be good to kind of get update on what's happening on their take on it. I did say you mentioned October, November before you start recording. A lot of people seem to be focusing on that time again. I don't waste my time on time periods because nothing ever happens. But out of curiosity and for the sake of having a chat and channeling, it'd be nice to get their take on where they perceive what's going to happen over the next few months, if not a year.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, um, okay, so let's begin with the meditation. So when you're ready, close your eyes, both feet flat on the floor. Visualize a bubble of white light around you. a tree in front of you. And you can visualize yourself with your arms around a tree. And you can have your eyes open or closed as you're visualizing yourself. So visualize yourself with your arms around a tree, and your eyes can be open or closed. Oh. And place your feet on the roots of the tree that are exposed. And if you could please all mute yourselves. And also let me say, if I'm in the channel, if I'm channeling, darling, can you put your phone on silent? If I'm in the channeling and you have to leave early, please just leave, because if you let me know that you're leaving, then it brings me out of the channeling. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Down to your belly and release it. And do that 2 or 3 more times. There are so many of you that are seeds that have been seeded onto this planet. And so many of you are growing beneath the surface. And you're all at different stages. Even those of you that belong to different soul groups, even the soul groups are at different stages. And those soul groups are very large. And then within those large groups, you have smaller groups and smaller groups and smaller groups and smaller groups. And you're all connected. All connected. You are one. You are source. You were asking about January is going to be an important month in 2025. All your systems on Earth have not even got worse, but they are being exposed for the things that they have been doing and conducting and in control of for thousands of years. They are not doing anything that is new. These are very old systems in place, and elites and the powers that be, and the blood that runs through their veins is ancient. We are speaking of the elite families, such as the royal families. Many of you are aware, some of you are aware that the original, the real, the true royal families were taken out, removed, and replaced. You were asking about months, and October is important, but it is November that is more important in terms of what you are asking and the energy that you are asking with it. So we would say that November is more of an issue. Thank you. More of an issue, or more concerning to the majority of you on your planet. These beings that are in charge and in control of your systems on Earth have been there for centuries. And what is occurring now is ascension. And with that, there are many aspects. One of them is the exposure of these negative ET beings that are running your planet. In your lifetime, you will see great changes on your planet to do with UFO, alien information in your lifetime coming forth and being disclosed. Many of you are speaking of a disclosure movement. Although the powers that be, the elites and the governments that are seemingly, we use that word strongly, seemingly in control, have no intention to bring disclosure movement. Have no intention to do this. They give the facade of wanting to do this, of a disclosure movement coming. But that is a distraction and an illusion. Darling, can you put...
That's your phone.
Just give me a moment. Many of you have connections to Andromeda, and there is much going on here. Andromeda has increased its velocity, it one moment. Darling, can you turn that? Andromeda is coming to be, is now in the energy of having, of being taking steps to that it needs to step up, to have more of an impact. There are changes occurring in Andromeda. We love you so much. We are here to assist you, and we feel your pain, your anguish, your frustration, your hopelessness, your fear, your anxiety, your impatience. We feel all of your emotions, whether they are negative or toxic or positive. We feel your fear, your frustration at the world, in your relationships, with your children, with your parents, with your siblings, with your governments. We cannot raise your vibration for you. We cannot make you more aware than you are. We are here to assist you. But this, your planet that you're on, has been ruled for so long that it is going to take some time for humanity to come out of the darkness of its cages, of its restrictions, of its shackles, because you have been caged, you have been enslaved, you have been trapped, manipulated, and your DNA has very much been changed and lowered. Your frequency, your energy, your vibration, your awareness, your bodies, your DNA was changed, and it changed you as a species and lowered your awareness and lowered your consciousness. That is really that is the truth of what happened. And if you dig a little bit deeper and look into, research various subjects, you'll see, you will discover things that have been hidden from you, such as giants, and many, 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 many thousands of places beneath your feet, beneath the earth, that lay undiscovered. Some even with jewels and treasure that is worth millions of dollars. And we say dollars because it is in that land. So this process of where you are now will take many generations to come out of, to evolve into a new crystalline human being. There will be exposures. Things will be exposed and on your mainstream media in November and October. We say November 1st because it seems to be more important than October. The governments have not changed. The elites have not changed. The ruling classes have not changed. Hollywood has not changed. None of the systems that are running, that are in control of you, have changed, but they are exposing themselves, being exposed, crumbling, burning up, falling down. The most important thing you can do, the most important thing that you can do, all of you individually, all of you listening now, whether you are listening now or you are listening in the future now, the most important thing you can do is stop looking outside of yourself and look within. Sit down and meditate and find your own answers. Stop looking to governments, to medicine. The pharmaceutical companies are in business for profit, not for health. Your health grows outside your front doors and in your gardens, in natural remedies, in the earth. Raise your frequency, raise your vibration. You have everything that you need within you. Our messages, our downloads, our teachings never, ever exclude Soma. Ever. We do not make any of your channelers an exception. Any of them, whether they are well known or known by a few. Even if they are only half human, even if they are hybrids. None of you are from this planet that you call Earth, that you live on, that you walk on, that you breathe on, that you sleep on, that you live on, that you eat on. You cannot force people to wake up. You cannot talk people into raising their vibration, into changing their minds or changing their perspectives. Simply let everything that is going on outside of you happen. Let things be. Turn your attention inwards to yourself, to your family, to your loved ones, to your children, and even let that idea go and turn it more inwards into just you and who you are. And in meditation, look at yourself. Ask questions such as, who am I? Why am I here? What is going on? What is the true nature of reality? Where am I really from? Do aliens really exist? We do not like that word, aliens, very much. You are, I am. Presence. You are divine source. You are God itself in an individual creation. aspect of God's source, God source. You are infinite beings of love, of light. Now would be a good time for questions.
I have heard it said that the state of Israel is controlled by the reptilians. Does this mean the attacks of this week regarding the walkie-talkies and the pages were done through alien technology?
We thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We would say that there is a vast amount of alien, what you would call alien technology, in the hands of your governments, of your so-called leaders, that is 500, 1,000 years in advance of what you are being shown. And this has always been the way since the downfall of Atlantis. The technology that has been in place in the hands of the rulers, the people in charge, since the downfall of Atlantis has always been in advance of what they are showing you publicly. Since the downfall of Atlantis, always.
It wasn't alien technology.
All of your technology is alien.
Yes.
Bear with us. Bear with us. Technology filters down into from the elites and filters down. It is not a question of whether this technology is alien. It is more of a question of who are these elites that have been running your planet since the downfall of Atlantis. These are reptilian beings. These are negative ET beings that run your governments and in every system on Earth. These negative reptilian ET beings are running your planet. And in their hands, they have technology that is advanced. You will see they are not showing you the technology that they have available to them, and they never have. And it is never their intention to do that. So it is not really a question of whether this technology is alien or not. It is, you need to look at the we use the word people loosely, but you need to look at the the people that are running your systems on Earth? And are these even human beings, or are these, who are these people? From the Satanic Catholic Church to the satanic governments, to the satanic Hollywood, to the satanic pharmaceutical companies, to the satanic military, to the satanic underground bases, to the satanic Vatican. All of these systems on Earth are satanic in the way that you understand satanic. We do not really see any difference between satanic and reptilian or negative ET energy. We would not really bear with us. All of your technology is alien. All of it. When it gets released to the public, it has been filtered down and true technology is hidden from you. Bear with us.
If the Pleiadians don't know how this is done, I can tell them.
Speak.
How that action happened in Hezbollah was a Mossad operation that was planned, I'd say, over 10 years ago. So Mossad set up a shell company for electronics in Hungary. And they set it up so as to hide their Israeli involvement in it. And they got the licenses to sell electronic equipment. They imported it from Taiwan, and then they rebadged it. They took out the batteries of all these devices. They put PET explosives into the batteries, resealed them, put them back in the devices. Then they have covert operatives in Lebanon with Hezbollah, with which they set up orders for these devices at a discount price, because Mossad know that Hezbollah have become aware that the Israelis are following Hezbollah military operations through their telephones. they've got their messages, they've got their GPS. And so they were aware that they were moving away from using their telephones, and they were losing their operational field knowledge of where the Hezbollah were. So they helped get this contract of devices into Lebanon. And then I think they were aware that there was they had a fear that this was being found out by the Lebanese. So they pressed a button and they had thousands of these devices in Lebanon. So it's not actually a technology which they're able to apply to any device. We don't have. It was caused by the fact that there were actually explosives put in these devices that the Israelis had arranged to create and manufacture and had shipped and sold into Lebanon in a covert manner. But it was a pretty evil action to do, and it was long time planned. And then they also did it with other devices, be it satellite and handheld radios, which they also sold through shell companies they had in other countries.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Soma could hear Dennis's words as he was speaking. But not really listening to the words that he was saying, or not really she was too embraced in our energies. There are similar events to come, like the one that has just happened. There are similar events to come, like the one that has just happened. That is what we can tell you. There are similar events, bigger and smaller, to come on your planet. It is a war of light and dark, and the dark is unwilling to recede. Let us say a fraction of these negative beings are unwilling to recede. Some of them have left. Many of them have left. your planet. But there are remaining beings who are unwilling to leave. And these people, these beings, speak through what Soma would call puppets. We welcome more questions. We want to remind you that there is a positive outcome, that there is a split in timelines. One is negative and one is positive. We showed this to Soma before in a more detailed way, where we showed her the earth would multiply into two, and one would be of a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher energy, a higher awareness, a higher everything. And she saw this in color, and she saw a bright earth gleaming from space. That was her view, that she was seeing it from space. She wasn't looking at it as if she was standing on the earth. She was looking at it from a view of being not physically on the earth, but she was looking at it from a perspective of looking at it from space. So she could see an image of the earth as where we were showing her this download in 2019 or 2020. And we showed her the earth multiplying into two earths. And we showed her one up here that was gleaming with such a brilliance of light, which represents a higher frequency. And then we showed her an earth here that was in a lower consciousness, a lower energy that looks very dark in color. This is the divide between light and dark. As you ascend into a higher dimension, a higher awareness, a higher frequency, lower energies will fall off your planet. Many will pass away. Some even that are not on a lower frequency. Some will simply choose to leave. And many will evacuate, is a perfect word. Evacuate. Because they cannot exist in such a high frequency, even with the technology they have. They are more advanced technologically, but they are not more advanced spiritually, which is an interesting subject. And where does the power really lay? Does the power really lay in technology? Or does it really lay with the level of awareness of consciousness. Where does the power really lay? Who does the power really lay with? Is the power really in your governments and systems that very obviously have higher technology? Or does the power lay with the people, such as Soma and Michael and you and Sheila and DM, that are very obviously operating in a higher frequency? Where does the power really lay? And that is why we were saying earlier, go within, because that is where your power lays. Your power lays within you. You are powerful beings. Some of you, many of you, the majority of you even, are not aware of this. You are powerful beings. And you have abilities, intuition, or physical abilities to create, manifest solid manifestations. Your abilities are beyond that. You have telepathy, you have many intuitive abilities and that are hidden from you, that you may call psychic or medium or telepathy or healing or even the astral plane. But you are creators, you are manifestors. How do you think you got here? How do you think you got here? You created this, all of this. Go create the life you want, the abundance. Manifest. Take your power back. Stop looking outside of you and stop blaming and stop judging. Stop the criticism, even the self-criticism, which is where criticism really comes from. It starts with the self first. The self-criticism, the criticism of the self, which is also linked to the ego. Step into your true power, into your true essence of who you really are. Would you like to ask more questions this evening, or do you wish to save them for another evening? We would like to thank Dennis Mulcahy for stepping in and speaking up when Soma could not find our words to give such a human answer. Such a factual answer. Do you have questions? Dennis answered in a perfect way. Are there any more questions?
Hello, could I ask, please, about how we can develop our abilities of telepathy, please?
Okay, I'm going to press pause and we'll see. Let's take a break because I came out of it there, Sheila. Okay, so that was a nice little break that we had. Maybe we can go round the group and see if there's anything you want to say or share. I don't really remember much of the channeling. I remember little bits of it, but like they were talking about November. And what else? Yeah, technology, November and technology. Okay. Dennis, do you want to start, or who wants to go first?
I'm sure Dennis has got something to say.
Well done, Michael.
Dennis has always got
What-
something to say.
Michael is
And
on
thank
the
God he does.
Michael is on the button. Yeah, he knows me. That is a very good question you asked.
Can I sit here?
No, there's no need.
No, I want to.
Tut.
Yes.
Very good question.
The microphone's here.
What do we do to
Mm.
increase the ability of telepathy? Which, of course, is a way of understanding or knowing what is going on with another person in their thoughts without them communicating them verbally. Well, many of this, we have some of this innately. We have this in maybe in a kind of unformed way, that we know when people are upset or angry, and they can say something, we know something different. And I have no doubt that there are different methodologies, different techniques, different ways that we can learn these things. I'm sure you could just Google search it or go into YouTube and go, how to learn and you'll find stuff, and it'll be interesting, and some of it will be useful. But because it is innate, and that means it is within us, it is very much part of our nature. It is natural to us. So the way to develop that is, in my view, is most simply by becoming ourselves, by realizing more of ourselves. And it ties in with what was just channeled by Soma a while ago, with the importance of going within and of meditation. Because when we take the time to separate from some of the chaos that's happening around us, and with our breath create some moments of stillness, then we can connect to power, mystery, truth, and knowledge that is all within us. because we're all fractals of source. We're in the bosom of Mother God. And when we go within, we tap into this potential, into this beingness of ourselves as divine. And so with that, we then can realize some of these abilities in our interactions in our daily lives. We are truly wonderful, powerful, knowing,
Magnificent.
and magnificent, Soma says. Well, I won't argue with that. There you are, magnificent. And so the more that we engage in the journey of knowing ourselves, being ourselves, connecting with our true selves, and then expressing that through our physical body, through our minds, through our emotional body, reflecting some of that energy through our etheric body, our chakras and aura, then we are being the light to the world, the light bringers. And with that, we bring understandings and we give understandings. And that all happens that can all happen in a non-verbal way.
The vast majority of communication is unspoken.
There you are. Yeah. Yeah.
And that doesn't even include body language.
Yeah. Carol, she wouldn't be saying anything to me. She'd be just scowling. I'll be picking up that message.
Hello, you darling.
Very good. So it is a way, and I'm very certain of it because it's something I practice. I go within.
Scowling?
And I do that sometimes. And I find myself having abilities and times and circumstances that surprise me.
Such as?
Such as being telepathic, such as being able to see into a person's Akashic record, such as being able to channel, such as being able to heal.
Can you give an example of any of them? From the past, from a past experience? Share an experience with us. Or telepathy, maybe. Or healing.
Well, it's a bit unnecessary. There's so many.
Pick one.
Pick one. Oh. Carol had in her idea, and she had an idea to do something very silly once. And I was able to look into her timelines and go, oops, my guides are saying to me, this idea you have, that would not be a good idea. If you do that, there will be some bad consequences. Well, Carol ignored me and my guide's messages, and she went and did it. And I was so right. It burned her a bit.
What was it? What was the message?
Oh, that was when you had a certain employment that was to your benefit, and you decided to just cast it away because of your own unhealed traumas and blaming other people for your stuff. It's okay. We're all learning.
Forgive me for not being perfect.
That's fine. You just asked for an example. It's like,
Thank you.
we are all one. We're all part of Source. So when we enter into the oneness in stillness of our own I am, we are connecting to all. We're connecting to a oneness of truth, oneness of power, and we can exercise and express that in our lives.
So who would like to go next? It would be really nice to turn this into a discussion. Michael, is there anything you want to share or talk about? Or Sheila?
I've realised that I have a very restricted view of things. I mean, the answer that came out this evening was to really very good. It broadened my outlook. I'm thinking too much inwardly, and I need to think outwardly and accept there's a broader picture.
I'm so sorry, Michael. I couldn't hear what you were saying. Can you say that again?
Yeah, it made me think, but I was looking at these things too inwardly, and I needed to think of them outwardly. I mean, it's perfectly obvious what the answer to my question was, yet I'm still not thinking broadly enough. It was a very good answer that you gave.
What me or Dennis or both of us?
Pleiadians.
Okay.
It was if, as I believe, you really were channeling the Pleiadians, that will be the answer. That was a very good one that I would expect. I'm afraid with me, you're always going to get some awkward questions.
That's okay.
I mean, you say...
I appreciate that. I value that because it pushes me to develop more.
Yes, but it's not so much pushing you, it's testing the spirits, if you like,
Yeah.
as Paul said.
But that's a good thing. We
Not
should be
you,
doing.
it's the Pleiadians. And my whole upbringing has been to ask awkward questions, like your phone won't work if you take the battery out. You see?
But the thing with the phones is that we can't take the batteries out anymore. And the thing with the phones is that the phones get listened to. And
Yeah, I think you're right.
and
Probably by my
recorded.
side.
And so recorded and audio recording and video recording is what is happening to the phone. So there are nefarious corporations and other three-letter what do you call them? Agencies, thank you. In America that are very well known, that use technology to record and listen to track and trace and see what certain people are doing. And it doesn't matter if the phone is off anymore. They can do that when the phone is off.
Yes, I know, yes.
So who would like to go next?
You want to do a review of the channeling, is it?
Well, Alan, yourself on telepathy, I totally expect it's an area that you personally are not separate from.
Yeah, well, look, we all have abilities. It's just like anything, a muscle that we have to use them and exercise them, And it's not something telepathy is not something that I kind of have ever focused on. I've just gone with my gut feeling. With energy, I work with energy more so. I pick up on people's energy. But what the Pleiadians were saying regarding November and the generational thing, kind of ties into what I kind of said a while ago, is that, for humanity to get to where we want to be, this utopian society, it's going to take generations. It's going to take a few hundred years. It's not going to happen overnight. Which is going to frustrate a hell of a lot of people and upset a lot of people because we all want it now. But it's going to take time, and it won't be in their lifetime. It might not be in our kids' lifetime. It'll be better in their lifetime, hopefully. But which is a pity because, I mean, it'd be great to, another 10 years, unless something major happens like a solar flash, or, there is talk, other channelers that I've spoke to and interviewed have said that it's going to be one channeler said there's going to be 3 flashes, and the first flash will be a major upgrade for us. And people will actually look at us. I'll look at the people that received the upgrade from the flash, and they'll want to be like us. It'll be like the Ready Break advert where the kid was going down the street with the kind of glow around his body. And people will see that we have changed, and they'll want to be like us. And that would be a catalyst for humanity to change. Because this is what I was told, by the way. I'm not saying it's, it's just what they said. They said that we will be, this upgrade will give us certain abilities. They don't know when the other 2 flashes will be, but they reckon the first flash is quite soon. And we will get enhanced abilities that other people won't have. But along with power comes responsibility as well. So we have to be responsible as well. And people will see the abilities that we have, and they'll go, "Oh, I want to be like that." How do you get like that? Well, you have to be spiritual, and you have to be service to others, and you give them the normal advertising spiel. So I don't know. This is what I was told. Again, I have an open mind. It'd be great that if something happened, that we could at least see the start of the journey of 3D and 5D, and the split from there. That's another topic of conversation. Dolores Cannon talked about it, and a number of people talked about it. And maybe we are seeing that now. The inner journey, I kind of agree with that as well. I think we have to work on ourselves. We have to develop ourselves. We don't have to be, it's not about being selfish. It's just about, the whole idea of oxygen on the plane. You put yours on before you put anybody else's on. Otherwise, you're going to die, and you're useless to everybody. So it's something that I'm doing now more so. I'm focusing more on what I'm doing and my kind of energy and my family and my people around me. And I'm not too really concerned about what's going on in the world, because at the end of the day, I can't control it. I can't do anything about it. I mean, bombs gone off from mobile phones and pages. I mean, I can't do anything about that. So why worry about it? Why let it rent space in my head? I'd rather something else that I can change. I focus on the things I can change, and I don't focus on the things I can't change.
Right.
And that's how I see things now. And in a way, maybe it's a good thing that I am doing my training at the moment, which is taking up a lot of my time, which means I won't be able to do as much as I normally do, with Circle of White Light. And maybe that's happening for a reason. I don't know. But our energy, we have to focus on our energy and make sure that our energy is as good as it can be. And because it's all happening around us. We can all see it.
Yeah, I think
And there's only so much that we can do.
yeah, I think it is possible that in a short space of time, be that 5 or 10 years, that there could be just fantastic, positive, transformational change in our planet, where there could be much more peace and justice. I think that's very possible, because at the moment it is such a small minority who have managed over time to put themselves into positions of power and have, some negative control and influence over the many who are well-intentioned. So I think that's something that it's possible that can change. And then, and that's just humans being able to order house, and it takes a small bit of wakening up to the matrix, to the tyranny that surrounds us, for people to disagree to it and demand change. And we have different ages. We have something called dark ages. We have something called golden age. I think it's possible for us to have a renaissance or something new and fantastic, better than we've had before. Like the founding of the Americas with that Constitution and the Bill of Human Rights, that was a great fork in human history to have those rights put down on paper. And then obviously the system didn't follow them perfectly, but the principles were there. And so, and anyway, I do think that something very positive can happen in a short space of time. So that's something I wish for and hope for and believe I'm contributing to. And that's why I'm here. That's why I chose to be here. Like we all chose to be here as immortal, conscious beings, fractals of divine source. We chose to be here. We have a purpose. We have a plan. And it is not to suffer. It is not to just endure a whole load of shit. It is to see things through getting better. And there are many of us. And so I think that is possible. Then the ascension thing, people get confused about that. That's not a lifetime of process, because we're immortal beings. So that is a long process of evolution, of learning, of expansion of consciousness that happens over lifetimes. And I think it can be accelerated, and we can see great leaps in it. And there may be indeed some divine or solar energies that hit us, that accelerate it. It might be into the cosmos clock, that we're due for this alarm bell of divine gloriousness. Maybe. But anyway, I believe it's something that's happening. It doesn't have to be immediate. But like, even if there is something a bit dramatic that happens in that way, that is still a process. And after we move on to something better, we still have a journey to more and to create better.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I've interviewed a lady called Honey C, who again tunes in and channels, and she's been told that the window of opportunity for 3D, 5D, choose your train, is going to happen. It's going to be closing down around January 27. And we will have the launch or the start of the kind of golden age in 2030. This is what she's been told. Now, the 3D, 5D, there are people that will say that it's a different planet. Other people feel that it's just a frequency change. That there are people in our lives that will, gradually disappear. and we won't see them. They'll probably be still there, but on a different frequency. And what people have said, and I've experienced this personally, is people not seeing you. They don't see you. Maybe it's your vibration level, but I've people saying to me that they're driving a car and people just walk out in the car in front of the car because you just don't see it. Or you're in a shop and people are walking and they walk straight into you because they don't see it, not because they're on a phone. Or if from my reason, I was went to a function and I was up at the bar, and the barmaid completely, I mean, I was ahead at the bar. There's only two people at the bar, me and another guy, and he was further away. And she just literally just walked past me and just went straight to him as if, as if I wasn't there. And you could say, well, oh, he was there first. No, I was there first. And literally, but she didn't even look at me. She didn't even acknowledge me. Just literally, I wasn't there. And she just went and served him. So there are people experiencing this kind of effect where they're not being seen. And you could say, is it a bit woo-woo? Is it a case that, we are vibrating on a higher frequency? Um, uh, maybe. I
I
don't
would
know.
just like to
Maybe.
point out
Mm.
that's very relevant to ascension and what you're speaking of. And I've experienced that as well. But also, as a medium, that is how spirit, the vast majority of spirit are unseen by the vast majority of normal people. It's only people like yourselves, Alan, and me, and other mediums that can see spirit, and also beings higher than spirit, such as the Pleiadians. So there are other dimensions where beings exist, such as our loved ones in spirit, and people, the vast majority of people can't see them.
Yeah. The argument normally is when we talk about this and people who are not familiar with this kind of what's going on, they say, oh yeah, they say, where's all these UFOs and all that kind of stuff. But what I always say to them is, we have a limited frequency in what we can see. And, like if you grab a remote control and you change the TV, you don't see the infrared beam coming out of the remote control, but it's there because it's changed channel. You put your hand in front of the remote control and the beam doesn't work. So all we need is a sky full of UFOs on the infrared frequency, and we wouldn't see them. I mean, and we've a limited spectrum regarding frequencies and what we can see. So, and it's the old story of, isn't it Captain Cook, where only the shamans could see the ship because the villagers never seen a ship before, and because they'd never seen it, they couldn't see it. It's only when they got close that they seen it, but the shamans could see it because they were on a higher spiritual frequency. They could see more. So we know this is fact. And maybe Honey C is right in that maybe there is going to be a shift. And if the gates are going to be closing by January 2027 regarding your choice as to which 3D level you want to be on, then it'll be interesting to see by 2012 where we're going to be.
Very good. Witnesses, are you closing up? What are you doing?
Okay, so are there any final words from anyone? Would anyone like to say anything? Thank you all so much for tonight.
Well, thank you. That was very good and very informative, and it's made me think.
Yeah, very good. It's always good to talk, and it's always good to swap information. And we mightn't all agree, but we're all on a path of knowledge.
Yeah.
And as long as we keep an open mind and we challenge our belief systems, we're on the right path.
Yeah, there's been times in some of these live sessions and some of these recordings that even Michael and myself have disagreed. What I value above everything else is, even with our what's the word? Even with our disagreements, is that we have the ability to see beyond that and recognize that we are all connected and stay united and stay in friendship and stay connected and give ourselves and give others the ability to breathe and to be wrong, whether it's the other person or whether it's ourselves. I very much allow myself the ability to be wrong, and I don't. And there are moments when I can be very judgmental on myself and with other people, but never with the ability to be wrong.
You're very good at being wrong. Very good at being wrong.
I mean, I give myself the allowance to be wrong. You know,
Yeah, well, we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, and the day you think you know everything is the day that you have a massive ego. We don't know everything. We're learning. That's why we're down here. We're on a path of knowledge, and we'll keep on learning until we pass over, and it's just sad that there are people in our lives, I'm sure, that don't want to learn anymore. They feel they've had enough. That's it, So organically, they might learn a few things. The old adage where they say the older you get, the wiser you get. Well, that's a fallacy. It's rubbish, because I know people that are, of our age, and yet they don't want to learn anything anymore. They don't want to learn anything. That's it. They've had a lot, and I think that's. I feel sad they think like that, because I love learning. I love, and
there's something I'd like to share about that, Alan. My sister once said to me that age comes, and this was years ago, it's like 20 years ago, that wisdom comes with age. And I turned to her and I looked at her and I said, no, it doesn't. And she said, she looked at me as if I had two heads. And she said, what are you talking about? Of course it does. And I turned back to her and I said, no, it doesn't, Kerry. Look at our mum. And I kind of caught her off guard and made her stop and think, because she then realized that I was talking a lot of sense. But wisdom doesn't come with age.
Totally.
Wisdom is part of a soul aspect. So you can get children. I saw a beautiful child, a newborn, the other day, of a friend, and the child, what I saw was a very old soul, a very beautiful baby, a newborn, that is full of wisdom, more than I have. And sometimes you can see that in children, that they're very wise, they're more advanced than we are. A lot of the children being born now. So wisdom has nothing to do with age at all. It's innate within us. It's the soul's development and the soul's past lives and where we've come from. Where have we come from? Is it the Pleiades? Is it Sirius? Is it Lyra? Is it Andromeda? None of us are from Earth. Anyway, I'll just stop there because I could just go on.
Yeah, it's interesting that one can be knowledgeable, having lots of data, facts, and understanding, and wisdom is deeper and broader, because with wisdom there is an understanding of the knowledge. With wisdom, the knowledge has been experienced or it has been applied, so one has it's tested, and now there is a knowingness on this knowledge that it is owned or experienced, and that can happen through life experience, and also as we connect to our own selves, and we being immortal and having many lifetimes, there is another avenue and portal to come to such.
Yeah, I agree. I normally say, and this is just my saying, knowledge is the book, wisdom is the experience,
Mm.
but if you combine the two, as much as you can, it works well, but we don't know everything. And I think that we have to be humbled by the fact that we don't know everything and be open to changing our mind and again, challenging our belief systems. And the ego is such a pain in the arse when you're dealing with people. It's one of the major things I've come across for all this psychology is the ego is, man, it really stops everything. And I did an interview with a psychologist, Ros Neelan in Australia, and we talked about the teenage mind and the adult mind. And I won't go into it now, but basically what you're saying, Carol, about, the wisdom thing and about children, when you look at an adult, some people think, oh, they're an adult, but a lot of the time they're not. They have a teenage mind in an adult body. And that's what you're dealing with. So when you speak to them, you have to speak to them like a teenager, not like an adult. And I interviewed Roz, and Roz being a psychologist, we went into it. She said, sometimes, Alan, they're not even teenagers, they're kids. And you have to treat them like kids. And that's why we have the nanny state. They call it the nanny state because you're dealing with people who are like children. They're not adults, even though they look like adults. So we have a long journey ahead of us as to what the milestones will be and whether the changes will take place in our lifetime. I don't know.
Well, that shows you the variety that's there. We can have the adults with the kid minds, and we can have the kids with the minds of a sage. So what a variety that we have out there.
Yeah, but here's the trick. You don't know when you're speaking to an adult or a child what they are. You have to up to you to try and get sensitive to it and to gauge it. And there's ways and means of doing that through psychology, obviously. But if you are a sensitive,
yeah, well, I'm going to stop you there, Alan. Uh, Carol, Michael, I know that there is a more direct route than psychology. With energy, you can read the person's fields. You
I
can
know.
go very quickly,
Mm.
very quickly.
Yeah, I won't argue with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a move, guys. I don't know whether you're going to be finishing, but I'm going to make a move anyway. So, cheers for the hookup and the chat. Enjoy the chat and take it easy. Have a good week. And if I'm around next week, we'll try and jump in and have a chat with you. But yeah, take it easy. And Carol, if you want any other information about links or if you want to post them up, that'd be great. Just to get it out there, that'd be brilliant.
I will do, Alan. So for people listening, I did an interview Alan did an interview with me. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
That will be up on, I believe it will be up on his channel, his social media, and it will also be up on mine as well. And I'll probably put that up tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool. Brilliant. All right, folks, you take it easy. Have a good one, Michael.
Bye now.
Okay, bye, Alan.
All right, see you, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.